This morning in studio with us is Aris Monyoa. Aris, good morning. How are you doing?
I am doing great. How are you?
I'm good. You want to start by introducing yourself because it's been quite some time before we've had you with a conversation with you.
Yes. So my name is Alice Monua. Alice Wagoi Monua to be exact. I was
Yes.
born in Kenya, but I live here in the US. I've been here for over 30 years, and I'm a nurse practitioner. That is the same as a general doctor in Kenya.
Oh, now that you've mentioned that you're a nurse practitioner, can we get into this? Is it the Nurses Week or what is it?
This is the Nurses Week.
Mhm.
Because we take a week sometime in May, like beginning of May, to celebrate all the nurses for all the good work that they did. We know that hospitals are not the same. They would never be able to work without nurses. So
Okay, so one question that is very, very, very important and something that I would really want to hear from you. Is it possible to give us a background of where the nursing profession started from? Are you familiar with the Florence Nightingale or something? You want to give us an insight to the same?
yes, of course I am.
Okay, please, can you please
Florence
give us a quick one on that?
Okay, so Florence Nightingale was an aristocrat from one of the European countries. I don't know whether she was English or French. That I don't know.
To be precise, Italian.
Okay, yeah. So I do know that one time she had an epiphany and she decided to devote her life to caring for other people. And that's how the nursing profession started. So she came from wealth, but decided to now get married. And she started the nursing profession during the Second World War, I believe, but don't quote me on that. It could be the First World War. And she was taking care of the soldiers.
Precisely, it was the first one.
So you know about her more than I do.
No, I don't know. I'm just trying to get information from you. Thank you.
Okay, but I do know that we have to take the Florence Nightingale oath when we graduate from nursing school.
Okay.
Yeah, and in that oath, we say that we're going to do our best to assist doctors to do their job, even though now we have nurse practitioners, then we did not. But our oath is to assist doctors, to take the best care, and to never do any harm to our patients. That's the oath.
Oh, that's a great one. I wish all the nurses worldwide the best of luck in their practices, and more so to be really honest. I think today nursing is one of the greatest professions and almost the most humble that we have in the world today.
Yes, it's a noble calling.
It's a noble calling, and it's actually not a profession. So you people don't work for money. You work for God. Okay, oh, that's great. I hope everyone would be the same. Yeah. Okay, now that you have mentioned about the nobility of nursing and the humbleness of the same, we are undergoing one of the hardest times of our lives in history. We have the coronavirus pandemic that is literally wiping our people in the world. And we have the nurses. The other day, I saw a nurse really cry. She looked very tortured. Can you take us through what nurses go through in a day, in your day-to-day life, please?
Yeah.
You want to take us through?
Yes, I can. Well, we go to work and nursing is 24 hours. So we work by shifts. Even though as a nurse practitioner, I don't have to do that, but I've done that most of my life. So we take care of patients. We take care of their every need. We take care of their spiritual needs, their emotional needs, and their physical needs. So that means if somebody is not able to give themselves a bath, we give them a bath. If they are not able to dress themselves, we dress them. If they are not able to go to the bathroom, we take them to the bathroom. But we do more than that. We educate and we teach about health profession. We teach about disease prevention. We pray with them. That's the spiritual part. And we are not judgmental. Like whatever their faith is, if they believe in God, if they don't believe in God, we accept them the way they come.
So you're actually taking as what you call the activities of daily living. You take care of the same for the clients or something?
Yes.
Oh, thank you. That must be so good of you people. Now, Aris, I have had the privilege of interacting with you before, and I'm again privileged to have you with us this very trying moment when, like I mentioned before, the world is almost at standstill. And most of the people I bring in here, I like us talking about our country, Kenya. Kenya, our country, which is very, very, very close to our hearts, whether you are in America, wherever people may be. I believe we have our primary duty and primary prerogative is to start with our motherland. Now, Aris, I want us to look at what coronavirus is. And as you please try to do that, I would wish you'd try to explain to us what a host is and most probably what the mode of spread is, then we'll be able to go from there.
Okay. So coronavirus or COVID-19 is a new disease. That's why they call it a novel disease. So COVID-19 is the pathogen that causes this disease, which is coronavirus. But coronavirus, we see that it's a family of viruses. There are 7 of them, 7 known viruses. The first 4, they cause the common cold. So if you've ever had a common cold in your life, you have had coronavirus. The 5th one is MERS, or Middle East Respiratory Disease. And I think that before the 5th one is actually SARS, which is the Severe Respiratory Syndrome. And after that, then we have the MERS, which is the Middle East Severe Respiratory Disease. And then the COVID-19 is almost like SARS, which is the Severe Respiratory Distress, and they call it SARS-2. So it's almost like SARS. SARS came from China.
So, in a nutshell, is Aris trying to tell us that COVID-19 is nothing new, is something that has been there before?
Yes, it has. But they call it new because it's a little bit more severe than the SARS itself, which is the Severe Respiratory Syndrome that came out of China in 2003 to 2004. So this is a much stronger virus than that one. And they say that it came from bats. I don't know about that. That's what we are told. And now the part that is new, it used to be transmitted from, the SARS one was actually called bird flu. It was transmitted from birds to humans. Now this one, they say it came from bats, B-A-T-S, which fly at night. And I don't know how that happened, but the new part is that it has human-to-human transmission instead of animal-to-human transmission.
Oh wow, that's good. That's where I actually wanted us to get clear on, because when we talk about the mode of transmission, here we are talking about the bat.
Yes.
Transmitting the same to the human.
Yeah.
What is the correlation between the two? Well, from a medical perspective, how is that possible?
That's a good question. And that I cannot answer because I'm not a scientist. All I can tell you is that that's what we've been told. But the COVID-19, though, it is there. And the human-to-human transmission is happening. So people who are saying that it's not there, the disease is there. Now, there are many stories that are floating in the world about what it is, what it's not, how many people it's killing. That could vary. There's a difference in what's being reported, but the disease is there.
Okay, that's a good one. And wow, as always, when when such things happen, people are very, 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 very worried. I have had the privilege of talking to people back in Africa, talking to people in Malawi, talking to people in Kenya, Tanzania, and almost many of those parts of the world. And there is almost, people are almost in some consensus that this could be over-exaggerated.
I believe that that's a possibility.
So they say, okay, I have had almost the same symptoms before. And when I went to my doctor said it was pneumonia. So now, Aris, here we are.
Yeah.
Here, a layman stands before you, talking to some other layman.
Yeah.
And we have the privilege of having you. Can you please try to explain to us if there is a difference between pneumonia and the COVID-19, and if there is anything, you could take us through the signs and symptoms, if it is possible.
Oh, yes, I can take you through the signs and symptoms. And the difference between this pneumonia and your usual pneumonia, there are actually two types of pneumonia. There is a pneumonia that's called walk pneumonia, where people just cough, cough, cough. But if you do an x-ray, it does not show on the x-ray. Your lungs are clear, but you're coughing, and it's excessive coughing, and it lasts a long time. Sometimes it takes 3 to 4 weeks to heal. To me, and this is my personal opinion, because I've taken care of people with COVID-19. I've had a friend who actually had it. And this friend, and this is the interesting part, I know somebody who had it, and they had it in September. So even though they're telling you this is a new disease, and it just got reported to the World Health Organization like on New Year's Eve 2019, December 30th, that's when they reported it. My friend had it sometime in October, and they went to the doctor, and they were very sick, high fevers, coughing, and every time the doctor told him, we don't see what's wrong with you, and he knew he was sick. So a few weeks ago, he actually went to get antibodies tested to find out, because he recovered, to find out if it was COVID-19 that he had and if he has antibodies. And sure enough, he had antibodies. And he was looking at the symptoms, and he was saying, my doctor couldn't tell me what I had, but I swear to you, it sounded like COVID-19. And sure enough, he has antibodies to the disease. So that's my friend. What he had looked like walk pneumonia, which is high fevers, a lot of dry cough, and it takes like 3 to 4 weeks to kind of heal. And somebody is very sick. So you also have fatigue, you could have headaches, you could have a sore throat. And there are people who are just having high fever. So it's coming in many different ways. Just high fever for like 3 days, but then they feel fatigued. Others are coming with back pain out of the blue and nothing else. Others are getting the whole 9 yards, sore throat. They lose taste. They can't smell or taste. That's another symptom. So it's coming in all kinds of ways.
So that's getting even getting more interesting and most probably more complicated for the layman. What I'm asking is, does this call for isolation?
That's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
You want to hear my opinion?
Oh, sure.
I don't think they should have shut the world down. I think that was not a good thing. Now, if somebody has a weak immune system, and you come in contact with somebody who has this disease, for sure you will get it, because your body's immune system is not able to fight it. I would have said this: let the people who have a weak immune system be isolated. They can stay home. They can stay home. They can wear the mask. But for a healthy person to be isolated, my personal opinion was that was a mistake, and that was not good.
So in this case, what we're saying is, how are we able to measure the immune systems of individuals to know who has strong immunity, who has some weak immunity?
Okay, good. That's a very good question. I can tell you who has a weak immune system. Anybody who is taking medication for anything. If you're taking medication for hypertension, something is wrong with your immune system. And it's not your immune system per se, because the root cause of hypertension, and this is something that most people don't know, is actually anxiety. It's a deep-rooted anxiety. Now, prolonged anxiety causes depression. Depression will weaken your immune system. When you're depressed, everything is depressed with you. So anybody who is taking medication for stuff like asthma, diabetes.
So in a nutshell, Alice, you're telling me we have cherished immunity if one, for whatever reason, may be on medication other than what you people would call a normal dieting.
Yes.
Okay.
Anybody who is on medication to stay alive.
Okay,
there is a compromise on their immune system.
Yeah, the immune system is compromised. Thank you for taking us through that. Now, I have still on the same, because according to Aris, the world did not have to shut down. It was, it maybe have been a mistake or something to that effect. Now, I have heard a number of people, a number of theories advance that we would be better off. Somebody says the reading is not very clear. We are going to do something. Thank you very much, Lucy. We are okay. Okay. What there is there are two lines of arguments. We are being told, okay, if you you test positive for COVID-19, you are put on medication. Great. I don't know. You're going to take us through that. The larger majority, including the common men in the slums of Kenya and from the village of Afghanistan and wherever, they believe if we ate well, if we were able to expose ourselves to sunlight, we may not have to be affected by this pandemic. Please walk us through again on the effect of medication, what we would call the natural healing, which is now. Yeah, please take us through that so that we can interrogate the next item.
Okay, so the natural immune system is able to fight any virus, any bacteria, anything that comes to attack your body. That is the way God designed it. And you, Kuira, you and I grew up in Kenya. You know how we were as children. We used to eat dirt. We drank water that was not sanitized. We didn't have to sanitize our countertops, and we never got sick. Most people don't realize the immune system is actually very effective when it's taken care of. But the immune system doesn't just come from eating good food. The immune system can be weakened by spiritual infection. And when
Aris, I will come to that. Can we let's please first interrogate this, because I know I know what your position is likely to be on that before we get spiritual. Please let us have this immunity build, because I remember when we were young, and I'm very honest on this, and I'm sure my sister Lucy Mugo is with us here. Catherine is watching with us. Thank you, Joseph Gregory. Thank you, Monica, all the way from Thika. I can see we have so many people who are watching with us. I remember when we were young, if there were, for whatever reason, there happened to be a child in the neighborhood who had measles or chicken pox, we really had to be taken to that home to get exposed.
Yes.
And that is how we actually build the immunity.
Yes.
So I may not want to be asking you to challenge what you are doing, because you are practicing medicine, which is good. Before we go further to the other factors, which may include spirituality and everything else.
Yes.
We are talking of a situation whereby we are told there is medication for the pandemic. Do we have medication for the same?
No, not that I know of.
Okay, thank you.
We are doing comfort care for the people who are affected. So
it is more symptomatic treatment.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. From there, I have had the privilege of talking to a friend who said to me, the Black community in America is facing some very, very big challenges when it comes to matters COVID-19. They are getting the population is getting messed up. I don't know, in their hundreds. And when we talked, there was like this kind of suggestion. Why don't we try to think about vitamin D, which can be made naturally by the body, and if it is not made by exposure to the sun, we have I don't know if you have caprice or something to that effect. So please, can you take us through what the body and the vitamin D, the black men? I don't know. We don't understand. We need we really need to be taken through that.
Okay, that's a good question. So when we used to live in Kenya, there's a lot of sunlight in Kenya. Sunlight by itself is antiviral. And when you expose yourself to the sunlight, your body makes vitamin D, which is also antiviral and is also an immune system enhancer. So when you're out in the sunlight, you feel better. Your mood is actually better. You cannot be depressed when you go out in the sunshine. The fresh air is also antiviral. And we know that the virus is not out there in the atmosphere. So being outside, being in the sun is a good thing. Now, before they had a cure for TB, they actually used to send people out to get fresh air, a place where there's a lot of sunlight, because sunlight by itself is a cure. And that's why you actually find the sun being worshipped in various parts. I'm not saying that people need to worship the sun, but the sun is worshipped for that reason, because it's a life giver.
Honestly, you've answered the question that I wanted to ask you. Okay, anyway, on a lighter note. So, then we must say God belongs in Africa, because we never lack sun in Africa.
Africa is very wealthy. The wealth of Africa, we haven't even touched it. There are some things about Africa that we haven't even touched. Some of them we don't even know about, but Africa is very wealthy.
So, I think by the end of this show, somebody might be asking us Africans to come and live in America, and they go to Africa. If that is likely to
well, do you want to know my point on that one? My views on that one?
I know, but let's first interrogate. Let's go down before we come to what I really want us to look into. Alice, we have governments.
Yes.
Starting with the U.S., Kenya, and the rest of the world.
Yes.
I understand almost all the governments are locked down.
Yes.
The governments are not functioning because of this pandemic. And if I was to go by Aris, I think I would leave the house now and go start working, because according to you, as a medic, you've prayed this down so much that I feel like we should not be in the house. So, Aris, take us through. Tell us, now that governments are shut down, should they really have been shut down, or were there better ways of dealing with this pandemic other than shutting down the government?
Now, that is another good question. But you can challenge the government. And what I tell people is, do what the government is telling you to do. But that doesn't mean that they are doing the right thing. But if you disobey the government, you end up in trouble. So,
yeah, because there are laws and constitutions, and I understand. So, can we look at the effect of this pandemic on the human person, economically, socially, and physically and mentally? Because I know that is what you love best. Please take us through that.
Okay. So the economy is already toast. The economy has been damaged. And I actually, personally, I had seen the economy coming down. I had told my cousin 2 years ago, I say the economy is gonna, and most people who could see the trends, where the trends were going, they knew the economy was gonna crash. What I did not see was the fighters. So this kind of it just makes everything worse. So what was your question again?
Yeah, my question is, wow, the effect the pandemic has had on
Yeah,
governments, that is
yeah,
economically. You've said, okay, the economies are shutting down. Literally, they are shutting down. That's
yeah,
okay. Socially, I remember maybe before you people would meet with your girls would go out, or you'd go out there to socialize. What is happening now? Are people really socializing?
well, people have turned to electronic socializing. So they are on Facebook, they are on FaceTime. That's how the young people are keeping in touch with one another. Churches, they've all gone online. School is online. I think for me, I believe in propaganda. You know, when people are being influenced and they don't realize they're being influenced, I think this is what's happening. But
Uh-huh.
the virus is there still. But we know that things, where do you think these viruses come from? I have my own theory about where they come from, but I'm not going to say it because I know we are on social media. I don't.
Actually, social media, we are actually trying the best to educate our people. We are trying to array fear. That is why
Yeah.
we have all the reason. We have seen it is there. It is on air. We know what one of the presidents, the president of the United States, have mentioned it. So, and I don't think it would be very bad if you have an opinion, but we must say it is your opinion, which I
I do.
possibly I also have mine. Yes.
Yeah, I do have an opinion. And actually, Trump has been saying this, but people don't listen. They don't listen to him. He talks about fake news, and fake news is real.
Mhm.
Now, besides that,
Mhm.
I would say there is a propaganda to make people fear. And whoever trains people to fear, that person wins. So you decide and figure out where fear comes from and whether fear is a good thing. I'm not saying disobey the government. That is the last thing that people should do. Obey what the government is doing. Do what you're being told to do, but do not be afraid. This is not going to crash you. So the economy might crash. You could be buried in this economy, or some people feel like the sky is falling, like the world is coming to an end, but actually it's going to get better. But it's going to be bad for a while. But human beings are seeds. When people try to bury you, you germinate and you come out better. You know, there are people who are doing jobs or working in jobs that they didn't like. This is an opportunity for you to shine, you know, follow your calling. And that's something I train people to do because a calling is God ordained. A calling will make room for you and they will make you prosper. And every single person in this world has a calling. We know that things have been done. The world is not running the way it was designed to run. There's a lot of resources that are mismanaged, misused, and a lot of people are holding resources that they cannot even use. They can leave it to their children, and even their children cannot finish it. And while other people are going hungry. So there is that mismanagement of resources.
So,
And
Aris, in a nutshell, are you telling us that this virus is likely to have been made somewhere in the laboratory?
that's my personal opinion. Yes.
Good. So now that we may be in agreement that because you're so informed on what is happening,
Mm-hmm.
who is likely to have made this
Okay.
virus and why? That's the question.
That is a very good question. I'm gonna tell you who made it, but I'm not gonna tell you. From I always tell people that life is spiritual, and sometimes when we are fighting with things, we don't fight with flesh and blood. We fight with powers. We fight with wickedness and spiritual powers in high places. Now, when I talk about life is spiritual, there is an entity that actually has control over this world. Between us and God, there is another entity that comes to kill, to steal, and to destroy. And that entity has a lot of agents in this world. He has agents in every culture, in every country, in every religion, in every aspect of life. He has agents that work for him. If you know what I'm talking about, you will know who made the fighters and why they did it.
I would wish from an honest perception,
Mm.
I would wish we would come out clearly, because now, are you, as a student of karma, which I believe most probably you are,
Mhm.
uh, we are talking more of nature and God. Who
Yes.
who is this other, the third force that may be coming
It-
between
It's the
God and nature? You know.
it's the second force. This is in the Bible. The world sways under his direction. So I mean, it's the devil. You know, most people don't believe in God. As there are some people who believe in God, there are some who don't. If you don't believe in God, you also don't believe in the devil. I believe in God. And if there is God, there is also the devil who holds the negative force of the universe. So I tell people that life is spiritual. Before you see something happening in this world, there is a force that is controlling what's happening in this world that we don't see. And it controls everything that we see.
So are you saying this has something to do with witchcraft or something?
Yes. Well, not exactly witchcraft. What is witchcraft? Witchcraft is the language, it's a satanic language. It's what the devil uses. And witchcraft is real. It is real.
Okay.
Mhm. So you asked me
Now,
where the fighters was made.
yes. Where
The
was the fighters made?
in the pit of hell. How about that? The thing of it is, most people don't believe God when God tells them stuff, and they don't know how the devil works. If you don't believe God and you don't know how the devil works, you're not gonna understand anything I'm saying. But if you do, you will know exactly where this virus was made, who made it, and why they did it. There is an agenda here.
So, okay, there are so many theories that are being advanced. One of the theories is that first China wanted to depopulate itself with it's over 3 billion people. It wanted to depopulate itself, and this thing went sour, and it affected the rest of the world. Could that be a theory that we can work with?
That's one theory, but I don't think it was an accident. Personally, I don't think it was an accident. I think it was planned.
Okay.
Mm.
If so, still looking at what is happening, why
Mhm.
is it that the West has been more affected than the East? When we talk about the East, we are talking of China, Russia, North Korea, those areas, whereas the West here, America and its allies are affected most, and it's happening almost every day.
Now,
What is the prognosis of the same?
well, we can go back to the news. Most people are getting their information from the news. It's not something they are seeing. Like if I look at where I am in North Carolina, yes, we do have causes of COVID here in North Carolina, but actually they are not that many. So we are not terribly affected. But most people are getting their news from television. And that is the same media that Trump has said they have fake news. And I do believe that they do have fake news. So it's all propaganda.
Well, thank you very much, Alice, for being with us. I'm really getting excited, especially listening to you. And it's like if you were in Kenya today,
Yes.
I'm not sure my people of Korokosho would be staying at home, because we are talking every day, and they say this thing is government manufactured. There's nothing like coronavirus. There's no pandemic. The government is trying to suppress us because we are supporting one. There's I don't know. There are a number of political camps that are there in Kenya, and they believe they are being isolated because of being part of one of those political camps. Now, Aris, talk to the Kenyan government about this pandemic and talk to our people. Tell them exactly what they should be doing.
Now, you know, I can't talk to the Kenyan government. First of all, I don't know that they want my advice because they have to follow what's being told. And that's where I keep saying, even knowing this, and I can tell you that the virus is truly there, but maybe the numbers are being exaggerated. That I don't know because the numbers are inconsistent. If you look at the CDC, where the CDC and the World Health Organization and what's being reported in the news, the numbers are all over the place. So we know they are not consistent. Now, I cannot tell the government what to do because the government, I don't think they listen to us. That's
We are
my
hoping we are hoping they would, because what desperate times calls for, desperate situations calls for.
okay.
Yeah.
They have to follow what the rest of the world is saying. If they don't follow, they too will be in trouble. So that's what I know. And that's why I keep saying fighting with the government or refusing to do what the government is telling you to do, it's not going to help. It's not going to help. Just wait it out. What I should tell people to do is to actually return to God. Pray to God. Repent, and especially repent. So God, whatever, and then go to God and ask him for what you want. We should never be dependent on the government. The government is not our provider. God is. So I would tell people, go back to God. If you have to pray and fast and repent your sins so your prayers can be heard, that's what we should be doing. And yes, the government is telling us to self-distance ourselves. Have we self-distanced ourselves from sin? Are we still sinning? Because if we need to change this world, it's going to come from us. It's going to be bottoms up. The government is not going to help us change.
So Aris is telling us there's some likelihood that between the Genesis and Revelations, God could be unhappy with his people, the people that he made, and this thing could have something to do with God.
Yes. I don't think God is punishing us, but he has allowed the disease to punish us. Most of the time, we are not punished for our sins. We are punished by our sins. So there's a difference. When we sin, there is a lot of social injustice. There is a lot of sexual immorality in the country and everywhere else, even in America. Those are the things that punish us. So when the devil never moves unless he has a legal right to come and attack us. So God has allowed it. That's how I think. And if we need to change something, we need to repent and we need to go back to God and ask him to help us change things.
Oh, that's a great one. And as we wait up today, because I can see so many people are excited, they're telling me, please bring that lady again. She has a lot of information. You guys are doing great. My friend LB Maina Bogo watching us from where is she? LB, talk to me. Bonnie Mnat is there. I can see Grace Well. Many people, and they're asking, can you bring her back to us again? But before you leave, can you ask her, Aris?
Yes.
As a Christian,
Yes.
why would you think God would punish every human being?
Oh, he's not punishing every human being. Only the sinners. Now, God has promised us a long life. So I take that. So when they talk about COVID-19 and how it's killing people and people are being scared all over the place, I am not scared. I am not scared because I know God has promised me a long life and I'm going to hold on to that. And I also tell people, should you get sick, don't be afraid of dying. You're not going to die. God has put an immune system inside of you to be able to fight a virus like this. If you get sick, do what you need to do to recover, and you develop antibodies. You talked about the virus, chickenpox. We used to take our children to people who have been affected so they can develop a natural immunity. That's how God designed us. So when we actually think about it, we have a lot of power. And if we want our government to change, we must change first. And with that, I actually wrote a book about that. That book is right there. Can you see it?
Yes, racism.
Racism, the perfected art of bending reality. I've known for a long time that mainstream media has lied to us in very, very many ways. They don't always tell us the truth. And I also wrote at the bottom, the map of Africa and a case of stiff-necked people. We don't listen to God. And because we don't listen, we get punished for our sins. So what I help people with is actually disease prevention, and I also understand healing very well. I can tell you for most diseases, even like diabetes, what I told you about, diabetes, heart disease, cancer, I can show you how to recover from that, you know.
Oh, man. Aris, what you're telling us is that we can be able to have our people recover from the diabetes, hypertension, without all these hurabos about insulins and everything.
Yes, yes, you can.
Oh, that will be a great subject next time, because that is interesting. So for now, tell me, why is it for the first time in so many years we have had the churches, the bars closed? And are we likely to be learning something that might be different anyway? Or what is your take on that?
I don't know what the take on that is. I do know that life is gonna change, and it's gonna be bad for a while. But I promise you, it's gonna get better. And when it gets better, it's gonna be better than before. Because, like I said, human beings have power. We have a spirit of love, power, and a sound mind. So we have a lot of people who are mentally ill right now, and God has promised us. If you just take the promises of God, He has promised us a sound mind. And I can also show you how to get a sound mind. This book actually holds my testimony. It says bipolar
Bipolar, huh?
on the throes of the wild kingdom. I can show you. I have been a victim of mental illness myself, and I recovered, and I wrote a book out of it. So the challenges that life gives us, we can turn them around. We can make lemonade out of lemons. And I do believe this pandemic or panic attack that's causing by the COVID-19, we can turn it around because we have power to do that.
So biblically, we were told 400 years ago, the first Africans were brought from Liberia, brought to these signs of the world 400 years ago.
Yeah.
And in the Bible, we are told that in 400 years we'll be taking over the world. Today is like 400 years plus, almost there. Is that prophecy likely to be getting fulfilled now?
Yes. Black people do not know who they are. And actually, that's why I wrote that book on racism. And it came out last year, which was 2019, which was the year of the promise. That was 400 years after the slavery. And we find the first slavery happening in Egypt. The second slavery, they were told in the book of Deuteronomy that they will be taken back to Egypt in ships. So I don't know, most people don't understand what America is, but there is Egyptian sabers all over America, including the money. It has Egyptian sabers. So this is the Egypt that the Bible was talking about. So 400 years, well, the world is changing, and it's going to change, but it's going to be bad for a while, but it will get better. And yes, Africa will get to her rightful position in the world. Personally, I do believe Africa will rule the world. And
so are we going to rule the world from here, or are we going to rule it from everywhere?
no, we can do it from Africa, we can do it from here, but I promise you, we're going to be a better people. We're not going to do the social injustices that have been going on in the world. We're going to be a better people because we are God ordained. Most Africans know God. They do.
Thank you. And it's been one great pleasure having you with me this afternoon. And I'm excited. Our people are very, 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 very excited. They're asking me, are you going to have this on YouTube? And I say, yes. Ian, my son, is watching from Africa. We are going to put this on YouTube because you are demanding it. And
can I tell people how to get in touch with me also?
We are coming to that. We are coming to that. Okay. We are not yet on the crossing remarks. I'm just looking at what people are really excited about. I can see my friend Kamau Gaduru from Olympia. He's a great man. He's telling me, oh man, that's a great lady. Bring her on. And Dija, Mohammed is watching from Mombasa. Oh my
Wow.
God. She's like, uh, is this the Kuira or somebody else? Yes, he's the same word man. They know him when he's speaking in the traditional language. Adru Mukuru, this my brother Joroge. Thank you very much, Joroge, for being with us. He's in Federal. I can almost be very sure. We have Grace Wero. Thank you very much, Grace, for being with us. Thank you. And she says, you are a great, great lady. Boni Mnati, all the way from Nyeri. That's a great, great, great show. Please keep the conversation going. LB Bogomaina, she's with us watching. Lucy Mogo, my sister, says, that's great. Catherine Mwangi, oh my God, what a show. What a day. Bring her over every other day. Thank you very much. Joseph Gigirigi, all the way from Kenya. He says, oh, please, it's wonderful. Please keep the conversation going. Monica Waithera. Monica is from Thika. She wants to know, please, how do we get in touch with you people? We are here. We'll be letting you know how you're to get to us. Jane Gikonyo is watching us, and Jane says, chapati ziko tayari. So I don't know if chapati might be part of the diet that we may need for the COVID-19. We have Rian Mush. Rian Mush is watching us all the way from Nyeri. Thank you very much, dear, for being with us. She says, it's great. Nyeni Kwogoko. So before we close, we will look at the effects of diet on this. Aris Marunga says, oh man, this is a great one. Please, please, please keep us posted. We have Daniel Mashira watching us all the way from Qatar. He says,
Wow.
my dear brother, what a show, what an evening, what a guest. Please keep us going. Okay. Before we get to our closing remarks,
Yes.
Aris, I don't know how you're going to really try to explain this, but before the coming of the white man, and by extension, the Bible, our forefathers, our great-great-grandparents, people used to get sick, people used to get well, and we had what they called herbology. Today, we have the study of herbology. A lot of research has been done. We are being told, or we are in the know, that Africa is so rich with a lot of herbs that have really real medicinal values.
Yeah.
Is it about time that Africa stood up to be counted?
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, this is a prophecy, and you might want to take it to heart, because that's what prompted me to writing this book on racism.
Okay.
God told me it's time to take Africa back, and I did not know what he was talking about then. Take Africa back from who? Like, I didn't understand how the world economy works, but I did my research, and I know who controls the world. And yes, they have tried to exploit Africa and Africans, telling us that we are stupid, and we are not. But it is time. The time has come to take Africa back. But you talked about our grandparents. I want to show you my first book. It says, do like grandma did. That's how you eat. So I hear most of the people logging in are from Nyeri. I come from Nyeri, actually Utaya. And I grew up on a farm, and we used to eat healthy. We were never sick. And that's how I wrote the book. So that's how you do diet, the way our grandparents did. Now, human beings don't live on food alone. So there are other aspects. There is the emotional health, there is the spiritual health, there is the mental health, including the physical health, total health. So that prompted me to write my second book. I'm a writer, as you can see. And my second book says, Think and Grow Healthier, a balance between spirit, mind, and body. So all three things have to be in balance.
Well, I cannot say enough. I am sure what the people have said is enough. And for the sake of clarity, we have people watching us from all the world over. It just happens that a few people come from Nyeri, and we are lucky to know that you also come from Nyeri, because even the greatest man in Kenyan history, Moi Kibaki, came from Modaya. So I think we are happy to have you. So please, do you mind telling our people how they are likely to reach you, or how they can interact with you, and tell them when we are next coming here and talk about what they have asked, because I already know what they want us to talk about next time.
Okay, so I can come back anytime you want me, and we can talk about mental health. We can talk about physical health. We can talk, because I know how to help people to be healthy, to get their sound mind back. But you can get me on Jabo Radio. I'm always there Wednesday and noontime, Eastern Standard Time. That's the Kikuyu Radio. On Saturday, I'm on DMX Radio, Saturday, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we actually have that live on Facebook. And you can also get me at my website, which is totalhealthglobal.net. Or you can get me on Facebook. I'm on Facebook. You can actually follow me. I post about 5 to 6 times a week. It's health nuggets. And you can also go to my YouTube channel and subscribe. And I upload a video once a week on health. And I talk a lot about COVID-19, how to get your immune system good. And those are practical things that you don't even need to pay anyone to have done, you know? Yeah.
So in that sense, as we close down, so people should not go for COVID test, the COVID-19 tests.
I haven't gotten mine tested, and unless somebody forces me to get tested, I'm not gonna get tested, because it don't make any sense. I mean, there's no medicine for it. There's no cure. So what I can tell you is build your immune system so your immune system can help you fight it.
Somebody is asking me, Mr. Kuira Kabiru, can you please mention very, very, very quickly the traditional foods that we are supposed to eat? Arrowroot, sweet potatoes, oh man, pumpkins, mokimo. That's what they're mentioning.
Uji.
And uji, that's. So thank you very much, Alice. It was a big pleasure hosting you. As always, I'll say thank you. I love your independence of mind, and I like it when we are able to interrogate matters, more so facts as they are. And until the next time, I would say this is Kuira Kabiru Live. That is what we shall have it on YouTube. You can go there, subscribe. Alice is with us almost all the time. The number to reach us on is 206-432-0477. And supposing you want to reach Alice, what is her number?
My number? You want me to give my number? Okay, I will. I'm on WhatsApp. It is 919-593-3812. Text me. I will answer you.
And until next time, I'll say to all the great nurses in the world, nurses who have given their lives for others, nurses who at this point of essential workers are not being considered as the best. They come after the doctors. To me, the nurses are the best, doing the best. And in that case, to all nurses world over, may God be with you as you do what you have always strived to do. Harvard, this is Kuira Kabiru. No tonyite gikuyu-ini agitwo muthuri ti Kuira Kabiru, muramati wa kirira kia Ugikuyu. Anytime we'll be coming back with Aris tukiaria Gikuyu.
Amen. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.